Everybody, it's Qqcknd, and it is time for another episode of Tattoo Talk Tuesday. Tattoo Talk Tuesday is our weekly Q&A that is audience driven, so you can submit your questions to me, and me as an avid tattoo collector would love to lend my experience to you the best I can with this I almost said TV show, YouTube channel series. So today, this week, we're going to be exploring something I get all the time. It is a question I get so frequently, and for the longest time I thought there is no answer to this, there is no pinpoint for this, but then it kind of hit me like, yes there is, and give your answer to the people. And here it is. All the time I get questions on my Tumblr, on Snapchat, in real life. How do you decide what tattoos you are going to get? When I first got this question the first couple times, I was like, hey, I don't know. I don't know why I got that tattoo. It came to me in a vision, in a dream. And I was like, shut up. You're not all about that. So today I want to explore different ways to find tattoo inspiration. I wrote inspo, so I was like, what's that say? Finding tattoo inspiration. How do I do it? And what works for me. It might not be what works for you, but so far, these are the things that have worked for me. And there are little questions I get here and there that I might just try to slip into this episode, because some questions, they can't have their own episode, but I get them all the time, and I value them. And then other questions I don't have any experience with. I get a lot of questions about black and gray tattoos, and I have like 2 of them. So I can't really tell you, like, why did you choose the color instead of black and gray? I don't know. But here we go. I took some freaking notes because we, in 2016, want to get to the point. So, how do I find tattoo inspiration? So I broke this down into 3. So 3 ways I have tattoo inspiration. So the first thing that I ever used to do before I was even tattooed, I was a tattoo baby, was I used to go to the museum to find inspiration. The Philadelphia Museum of Art was great for me. Whatever museum is around you. Even in a recent Vlogmas episode, I go to the museum and I do end up taking like tattoo notes. I show that. I can link that episode somewhere around here. So just to give you insight on the creative process, but I'll go through it. So the Philadelphia Museum of Art, any museum near you, I like to go there and just like, before smartphones, I actually have my like old notebook, my pre-smartphone notebook of how I used to take notes. Take anything, you know, obviously do the notes on your cell phone, go to the museum, see what inspires you. My biggest inspiration when I first started getting tattoos were these Dutch tiles. If you ever look them up, they are blue and they just show like different kind of like imagery and different little things that I used to really get inspired by. At the Philadelphia Museum of Art, there are hundreds of these tiles. They're called like defelt tiles. Look that up. It's just these blue tiles and they kind of just show like, there's one where it's just like a dog, and one where it's like a boy with the stick and the hoop, because that used to be a game people played. Just hundreds of different small images that really inspired me. I want to get an Ethan tattoo. I want to get an Ethan tattoo. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss and I'll put you down. And I remember I used to go to the museum like twice a month and just look at these tiles, take pictures of the tiles, take notes from the tiles, and I can say that a lot of my just like simple and romantic tattoos are directly inspired by these small little tiles. Obviously, you can go to the museum and get inspired by whatever. In that vlog I posted, I saw this piece that was just a big black bird, and I was like, I want a big black bird tattoo. So you never know what is going to inspire you, but obviously you could go to a museum that is full of art and get inspired in that way. So when I used to go to the museum, I would take notes. And let's see what the heck is in here. Oh, 2011. So some of the things I wrote down when I went to the museum, a bow and arrow, a farm, a shark with a ribbon, hi, a Venus statue, an apple, and an umbrella. How about that? And obviously, like, that, those are so simple. You're like, why would I pay to go to a museum to write the word umbrella in a notebook? But you never know when you're gonna get inspired, and you never know how that tattoo is gonna translate into something else. So my next tattoo inspiration, a place where I pull almost 100% of my tattoo ideas from, are song lyrics. So I've never been the type of person to want to get word tattoos, and that's just obviously my preference. I said it in another video. I really don't like when people come up to me and read my tattoos, and I just think that images speak so much more than words on a paper, words on a body. So I like to take my favorite lyrics and turn them into things. Like, do you ever listen to a song and you always get a certain image in your mind? It always takes you to a certain place. That's the kind of image I like to capture and turn into a tattoo. A couple of my favorite tattoos are just lyrics from my favorite band, Me Without You. I have my Yellow Spider tattoo, which is from their song like Yellow Spider, Yellow Leaf. And then I have another tattoo of just a wolf, and that is directly from Me Without You lyrics. It says, "Wolf am I," and I just got the wolf. And obviously, if you've been here for 5 seconds, you know that so many of my tattoos come directly from Joanna Newsom lyrics. And it could be as simple as me pulling up the lyrics and just reading them along to the music and kind of closing my eyes between reading and imagining exactly how these lyrics make me feel and the images that I associate with these lyrics, and then there you go, you have your tattoo. So a lot of you are familiar, I mentioned it in my like best tattoos of 2015, my Mercy Me tattoo from Joanna Newsom. Those are directly pulled, the images from that are directly pulled from the lyrics from Joanna. I have my bee tattoo from Joanna, and this is my favorite way to get tattooed because I love these songs and I would love to memorialize them in a way that is on my body forever without getting the song actual lyrics. So this is one of my favorite ways to get tattooed, and it's my favorite images to convey because I love those songs forever. And a picture of a wolf, I feel like, is so much more eye-catching and so much easier to wear than the lyrics like "Wolf am I." So that's just me, and that's just one of my tips. And yeah, like I have this like sawdust and diamond tattoo that is just the title of one of Joanna's songs. So finally, I have 2 more things, and one of them, pretty easy, but imagery. I had this long conversation with John the other day, and I thought, oh yeah, like that is the creative process, and I should talk about it on YouTube, and it's imagery. So I like to take different ideas, different fairy tales, and I think this is super common. Raise your hand if you have a fairy tale inspired tattoo, because you take these images and you take this folklore and whatever you imagine and however it used to affect you as a child, as an adult, these are your tattoo ideas. And I was explaining the devil to John the other day because I was like, I think the devil is such an interesting concept. Whether you believe it or not, religion aside, I think that just the devil is so interesting. We have different phrases and different cliches that we use in our lives, like the devil made me do it, different things like that. And I was just like, isn't it an interesting concept that there is evil in our world and we blame it on like an entity that we all universally understand? I think so many different cultures have devils and demons, and they've been around for so long, and it's just an idea that there is evil, and even if you produce it, You can blame it on the devil, like the devil's hands, like idle hands are the devil's plaything, all these different little cliches. So different imagery, I think, can be such a good example for a tattoo. Like if you wanted a devil tattoo or a Grim Reaper tattoo, different things like that, I think that's so cool. Like I was telling him, like, it doesn't mean that like I believe in the devil and that I believe in Satan and that I do like dark arts or whatever. It's just so interesting to me that even as a child, universally, we imagine evil to be this like little red dude. So I think that's cool. And then you would get a devil tattoo and you could explain that to people too, like, oh, this represents like the world's understanding of not even evil, just like little naughty, just like a little naughty thing. I think that that's super cool. So that's just my example of imagery. Obviously, there's different things out there. Like I've seen like siren tattoos, like the siren songs, like the women, they sing this beautiful song and you're like mesmerized by it and you're attracted to them, and then when you get too close, they like, all this stuff is super cool. Different like fairy tales and imagery, I think, are always super solid tattoo ideas because they're universally understood and everyone has different perspectives of them, so there you go. My final tattoo inspiration idea is the easiest one, and obviously the one I think most of us lean on, and that is tattoo flash. Tattoo flash has been around since the beginning of tattoos. You normally see it when you walk into a tattoo shop. Sometimes you can see vintage tattoo flash when it's on the wall, and you can see like different old prices. Like I know at Rose Tattoo they have some vintage flash and it still says like 50 cents. Things like that. I think tattoo flash is great. You can get it original or you can ask your artist to put their own spin on it. You can combine flash. Different tattoo shops will have like Flash Day, and I think that that's super fun. It's a great way to get tattoos and fill up different spaces. Like if you're like, oh, I have this pesky little spot, what am I gonna do? I can't come up with an idea for this. I can't get a little devil right here. Tattoo flash is a great way to be like, oh, put a little, and then you're done. What is tattoo flash? What is my favorite tattoo flash? A question I got the other day. My favorite tattoo flash is obviously traditional. I am covered in traditional tattoos and I think that they are the easiest to translate, and I think most flash is traditional tattoos. And I think that they're amazing. You can find something that is tweaked or done 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different times, but it's always like the same thing. And I think that that's super fun because you can find yourself getting the same tattoo as someone in Korea, and then you're just like, that's super cool. You and I have these universally understood tattoos, and I think that that's super awesome. I do have flash tattoos. I love a good flash tattoo. I love Halloween flash. That's one of my favorites. And of course, not always, but I also love like little fundraiser flash, like the fundraiser tattoo I recently got with my friend Alex. I have a whole vlog about it. We went to New York City and we both got flash for a fundraiser. And I always think tattoos like that are super fun. And even though you don't know all the people there, and even though at the end of the day, you'll probably end up sharing the same exact tattoo with someone you don't know, sometimes that's fun and sometimes that's a part of it. And if you only want like 100% custom tattoos, you can always be inspired by flash, which I think is great. Because if you're scatterbrained, if you have 1,000 ideas, if you call your tattoo artist and you're like, I want a green tattoo and the ocean, birds, what are you gonna do? So you see some tattoo flash and you can kind of narrow down your idea and narrow down your understanding. And it's pretty easy for you to use flash as a map to kind of guide yourself into having the tattoos that you want. Use them as a size reference, use them as a placement reference. They're online, they're on Instagram, they're in tattoo shops, and they are there for you. Is it a cop-out? Do I have these feelings about tattoo flash? No. I have flash on my body, and I get flash. I get tattoo flash. I hang it on my wall, I hang it on my body. I love it. And I think it's a great resource, especially if you're up at night and you're like, I want to be tattooed, but I don't know where to start. Tattoo Flash. Rose Tattoo does like Flash Saturdays, where they do just like tattoo flash off the wall every Saturday. If you're anywhere near New York, that's a great place to start. That's just my favorite tattoo shop. If you're anywhere else in the world, you can do your research and figure out if your favorite shop offers something like this as well. Get out of my face. But as for color versus black and white, that's something that you really need to figure out on your own. Take a look at your body, look at yourself naked in a mirror, and figure out what kind of person you are, what you look like. Look at different pictures of people online who have primarily black and gray tattoos and who have primarily colored tattoos, and figure out where you fall in that spectrum, because that isn't a decision that Qqcknd can make for you. I chose colored tattoos from the beginning because that's just how I felt in my life. I have very fair skin with freckles, and I just thought that a little color wouldn't kill me. You ever hear someone tell you that? You ever hear someone say, oh, a little color won't kill you? Well, that was in my mind. And I'm not gonna go to the beach anytime soon, so here we go. I hope that helped you guys out today, and I hope you can implement some of my tricks. Or if you have your own way of getting inspired, let me know. Keep a notebook in your bag. Figure out what inspires you and when. Maybe you're just walking down the street and you see something, you see a guy's hat and it has an image on it and you're like, I fuck with that. Let me know. I love you guys so much. Thank you always for all of your submissions, and until next week, bye. And always check out below previous episodes of Tattoo Talk Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe and give this a thumbs up and watch my other videos, and follow me on Instagram and follow me on Snapchat. My Snapchat username is Qqcknd. And have a nice night. I love you guys. Peace out. Hey everybody, it's Qqcknd and welcome back to another episode of Tattoo Talk Tuesday, our weekly tattoo interactive talk show where I kind of explore user-generated tattoo question submissions